I'm Alison Jolliffe. You may know me by Alison Jenkins. I've just recently got married. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through what your clients will see with an explanation of why we've built in what we've built, because everything is built with purpose. So here we ask clients what they want to do, not what you want them to do, not what I want them to do. It's got to be important to them. So they have a drop-down box here and they can choose what they want. Are they looking for more sales? Do they want larger contracts, or do they not know what they want? This dictates how we set them off on a pathway, because it means it needs to be really important, and that will follow them through, right through to the actions that are given in the sequencing. So let's say we're going for larger contracts and we submit that. Then we ask them, are they looking to tender? A lot of businesses secretly would love to get to the stage of wanting to tender, but we do what's called get tender ready, because you can't just walk in and be ready to tender. So if we know that a business would like to do that, we will be looking out for things that we know they have to do in order to be accepted for a contract to tender. So yes, within the next year, and we submit. Now we look at their long-term business, because if they're looking with a purpose of selling their business on in the future, or handing it on to a different generation, or even going to just close their business, we need to know now, because a lot of times people come within a year of retirement and what they say is, oh, I'm looking to sell my business. But they don't actually have a business to sell, because they have not put in the structures to be able to sell those businesses. So we help them identify what they need to do. So this one wants to pass it on to another member in the generation down. So we need to be looking at that. Okay, here's Brian. He's going to take them through the journey. Now we start by asking questions. The questions we ask cover 12 areas of key areas of their business, the areas that are relevant to them. The important thing is honesty, because if people do not answer these questions honestly, we can't give them an honest action plan. It's a bit like going to the doctor and not telling them what's wrong with you and then expecting the doctor to diagnose you. It won't happen. So let's begin. Why have we made these questions so easy? You might look at this and think they're really simple. Let me tell you, making business simple is very complex behind the scenes, because business is not simple. But we know 22% of people who go for professional advice about running their business can't even interpret what is being asked of them. So unless you can make it simple for them to understand what we're asking, we are never going to be able to help them do the actions that are relevant. So cash flow forecasting, okay, they never do it. That's really key to us. And then Brian gives them a response. Brian helps them see why cash flow forecasting is important to their business. Then we ask the next question. So this looks about their financial accounts. They have none of these. And then we submit. And you see, then we say, you know, consider getting a bookkeeper or an accountant. How many people think they can do a professional role, yet they sit for hours doing what a bookkeeper or an accountant would do in 10 minutes? We encourage them to use professionals and outsource their time and use their time productively and efficiently, so that they spend their resources of their time wisely and utilise professional time. So we've seen a few questions, and these range throughout their premises, their vehicles, staff if they've got them, and we ask different questions What we're really doing is eliciting what is going on in their business and where they can make the improvements and what improvements they can make that might be very small but have a big impact. Because that is what we're looking to do, is to get to the end and say, these actions will make a difference to your business. When they get the action list, this is what they'll get. They can see exactly what the urgency of the action is. So urgency is about, is your business going to be protected or survive? Are you going to get into problems with the law? They're usually that nature when they're of an urgent thing to do, or to protect their income streams. And they can tap. So this one they're doing, it's in progress. This one they've completed. And as they complete this, another action moves in. We don't overface them. Have you ever given somebody a list of 20 things to go and do? How many will get done? Well, I can tell you probably one if you're lucky, and that's if you're really lucky. If you give people a small amount of things to do, they are much more likely to complete it. We don't want to overwhelm clients. We want to take them on a journey of putting these actions in. Business is a journey. How your business is when it starts is not how it'll end up. It's about taking one step after the next in a logical sequence to lead to a successful business. Now, when we look at this, actions, it's not just knowing what I have to do. How many people have actually said to their clients, do this, and they come back the next month, the next year, they've not done it? Why? Ask yourself why. Well, I can tell you why. Is because either they don't know the importance of doing it, or they don't understand how to do it. We know from surveys that 22% of that information given to them is not received. So, here we answer why the action is required and how it benefits their business. Now that is key, how it benefits their business. Because if they don't understand what it will give them, why on earth would they do it? It's just another chore for them. But if they understand, if I put this in, it will protect my business, and a lot of this is about protecting their business, they're much more likely to do it. And then you can swivel the card. So here they have additional resources. They have a one-page summary, which actually is often a lot more than a one-page summary, depending upon the topic. In that, it gives them key information that is very relevant to the very specific action. It does not go off on all the other subjects. It keeps them focused. It keeps them with a list of what do they need to consider to do this action. We need to make sure it's right for their business, and that is really important. We help them with templates to complete that again just make it so easy. So we prompt them all the way. Think about this. Have you checked that? You know, as they're creating, for example, a business strategy. These are the ways we guide them through to success. And then when they've done them, they can move on to the next card and see what information's available. And we work on through like that. So let me summarise what each of these choices would actually mean. How many people think they can do it without themselves? Do you think your clients can do it? Do you think they're absolutely fine? So we put this through an accountant that we're working with, top client. He was utterly shocked to find that client had 187 actions. Why was he shocked? Because he thought the client was doing really well, and the client was doing really well. But you cannot review a business in detail at the level of this. because this looks in all the different areas and how it interlinks between the areas of a business. As a business consultant, we know how many hours it took, and we also know how long it takes before people really get honest with you. And it's not usually when you're sat in front of them. It's normally when you're stood making a cup of coffee with them and they say, you know, you told me to be honest, can I now tell you what's really going on? And that is where we get to, because this is perceived anonymity. People are much more likely to engage with Brian because they do not have the shame of saying, oh, I have to admit this. Okay, so let's say either you decide or your clients decide it's not right for them. What happens? Well, essentially, no change. Nothing changes. How many times have you seen business owners talk about their dreams? 5 years later, they're still talking about them. They've taken no action. This is an action program. Solo Explorer. Well, this is about just getting started. So this is the group of people who just want to do an MOT on their business, identify the actions, know what to do, but they like to do things on their own. They like to spend the time researching and taking their time through it. They're starting to see where to go. And then you've got the guided trail. So these are the people who really want to progress their business. They want to implement those changes. They don't just want to see an action list. They want to take action, but they don't know how. And they want support. And like all of us, we know small business owners cannot be the master of every trade. So we make things really easy for them. We take our collective years of knowledge as business consultants and we support them and do everything to just make it so easy for them. And what do they see? Well, they see productivity, they see financial success, they get more time back in their business, they're more efficient, and from everybody we've seen, it exceeds what they expected they could do for themselves. This product is an amazing product that helps turn real life business to identify what is actually going on and move people forward in a progressive, logical way to success. And yes, many of your clients are already being successful, but how much more successful could they be? That is the question. Thank you.